everybody was discussing a gentleman who had passed out on the ground with drunkenness. He was out cold. He seemed to be okay, but he was just gone in the brain, you know what I mean? So that's what was going on over there. I'm here in Nakano. Everybody's winding down, but they're also winding up. It's kind of weird. Like, everybody's going home, but there's a flurry of activity because it is midnight. So it's like last train, everyone's got to get home or lie down on the ground dead drunk. Those are the options that you have at the present time. And there's a lot of trucks doing resupplies. You can hear those in the background. Well, I was just giving y'all a little bit more ambiance. Guess I'll talk to you later. I hope y'all can hear the jazz fusion version of Steppin' Out that is occurring in here. I don't know if I got close enough to it, but pretty fun. I'm here in the 7-Eleven trying to find a snack that does not have mysterious chicken inside of it. You try to buy this salty potato snack. It just looks like it's supposed to be potato and salt. But no, there's chicken in it. This sour cream and onion potato chip. Pork. Obviously, there's got to be pork in it. Why would you buy a potato chip if it didn't have pork? Tried to buy some onigiri. Everything goddamn had some sort of a dashi in it. I mean, you gotta have fish in there. Why are you gonna eat it otherwise? You want rice with no fish in it? What are you, a jerk? That's me, the jerk. Listen to this. Hope you can hear that. Okay, bye. That music was playing in front of a smartphone repair center in Kanda. Unusual. I just had an odd experience at Uniqlo. I went to buy some socks because I only brought 10 pairs with me. And there also was a Sonic shirt, and I availed myself of the opportunity to purchase a Sonic without embarrassment. But anyway... Oh, I guess this music is playing all along this shopping street. Okay, it's not just the smartphone place. Anyway, the point about the Uniqlo is that they have like a self-checkout thing. A lot of places have self-checkout, but I was like, where's the scanner for my stuff? And I was just holding my things in my hand. And as I was holding my things, they started showing up on the screen. And like... I have no idea where they were scanning or what they were scanning. I guess maybe there were tags in the paper that binds all of their objects. I have no idea. It's very odd and spooky. I was supposed to put them into this dedicated area, and maybe I thought they were gonna scan it there, but I was just holding them in my hand. The heck? I felt like I was in a goddamn Amazon store. Bought some more City Pop records today. I'm trying not to do too much of that, but, well, I did it. And now, going off to my friend's house. We're gonna play some old video games. And, I'm walking by a place called The Tobacco. Not gonna go in there. Talk to you later. Bye from Conda. See ya. Been a while since I've updated y'all on what's going on out here. I've been not carrying my mic with me and forgetting about it. Sorry, but things have gotten a little busier. I went and hung out with a bunch of ex-Sega people yesterday. The artist from Crazy Taxi, the art director of Space Channel 5, producer of Space Channel 5, who also did a voice in Roommate 203. It's pretty fun. Also, the art director of Rez was there, and we all had lunch. That was nice. I asked the artist of Crazy Taxi why they had The Offspring as their music, and I said that I hated it. And that got a good laugh out of everybody. But I love the game, and I said that I played it with different music, which is true. But yeah, apparently it was just the director. That's what he was listening to all the time. He was just listening to that music, and it like really fit the image for him. And it fit the image of, like, I guess originally each character was going to have their own theme and vibe and stuff, but in the end they just went with that. I think each having their own theme and vibe would have been pretty cool, but so it goes. And he did all of the designs for Crazy Taxi 3 by himself, which is the less known, less played Xbox one. So that's kind of cool. I said I was going to go talk to some French people about my video games, but the French people did not want to be on the podcast. God darn it. Which is a shame, because we played a lot of fun obscurities and had a lot of good, very insert credity conversations, but c'est la vie, as they might say. But one of the two of them turned out to have COVID. I'm still testing negative here, but that's a danger. So I guess I'm going to update y'all continuously about that. But I've been taking these home tests every day. Demon School's publisher, Isprid, gave me about 20. And I've just been burning through them from PAX through to now. So that's been handy. Today we're going to go, me and Lotte May. Lotte is in town. She's one of the Necrosoft programmers. We're going to go to see the J-League Soccer Club director, or perhaps the game before that. Anyway, one of the Sega Soccer Club directors, or soccer game directors, is making a new indie soccer game, and we're going to go see their mocap studio, their small mocap studio that they have. So that's going to be cool. And then after that, we're going to go to Sega's office, and maybe we'll have a little update from the Sega office. Oh, another fun thing that happened yesterday was the art director from Space Channel 5 is my friend, and so she was who organized all of those things. And she drove here from Suwa. Suwa is a lake town that's like 2.5 hours drive, something like that. And she was like, since I have my car, let's go drive somewhere far away and then come back. And really the only place I wanted to go was a book off super bizarre. Maybe I should have chosen somewhere a little more interesting. But I chose one that was on the Chuo line so that I could easily get back home to Nakano quickly. But she was like, yeah, let's drive. And she's the slowest driver that I've ever encountered. We were passed by everything on wheels, and it took us like an hour and 20 minutes to get there and an hour and 40 minutes to get back. And it takes 40 minutes by train. So I had big plans to finish all my shopping tomorrow, but that was thwarted by kindness. But I did get to / have to speak Japanese for like 6 straight hours yesterday, which is not something I've had to do in some time. I mean, I'm talking to shopkeeps. I'm having small chats with, like, there was a neighborhood lady whose dog was barking at some kids, and I had a conversation with her about how dogs hate scooters. And she was very gratified to talk to somebody who loved mixed dogs. Over here, they love to have purebreds. But as we all know, as all real people know, mixes are the best. They're the healthiest. They're the coolest. They got quirky little weird personalities. And that's what you want. Mixes. The best. But yeah, I haven't spoken that much Japanese in probably like a few years. So that was good practice for me. This turned into like a little diary. But, you know, I'm out here in Japan. Had to walk around to Inokashira Park, where you go on the Sailor Moon swan boats. Talked about Japanese politics like an old man. I don't know, it's fun. I'm having an okay time. Very busy though. I gotta head out to, where am I going? Kagurazaka? Station I've never been to go see this mocap fella. So, I'll update y'all with some more stuff, maybe from the inside of Sega, as I was gonna say take them down from the inside, but that's not what I want to do. As I, give them my Goku energy from the inside. Alright, I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Bye for now. If you ever wondered what the inside of the Sega lobby sounds like, this is it. It's a bunch of people hitting their little tags on a gate so they can go inside. That's what that sound is. Anyway, we're here now. Lotte and Miyabe from Space Channel 5 and myself. We just took the Sega bus from the train. We were gonna just walk, but the Sega bus was there. They don't call it the Sega bus, but it's the bus that goes to Sega, and you don't have to pay for it. Lotte, what was your impression of the Sega bus?
It was fine.
Yep, that's correct. It was a bus. And when we arrived, there was, I saw a little shrine-looking thing up to the left, and I was like, ooh, Sega shrine. So we left Miyabe here with her coffee, and we went up to look and see about the shrine. And it's sealed off. It's like completely, you can't get into it. There's a stairway that is still existing and fully functional, but they just put a whole concrete wall in front of it. So, are they keeping us out, or are they keeping something else in? That's the question. We're here at Sega. We're going to see if Sonic's here. We're going to see if Tails is here. Is there anybody that you're excited to see in Sega?
Sonic would be pretty good. That's about all I got. I'm basic.
We'll see if Sonic's here. If Sonic's not here, we're going to cause a fuss and break down the wall to the shrine and let the demons out. The Sega demons at the Sega shrine. So, that's what we got going on over here. Pretty soon we're going to be able to go up there. We have to wait because we got here too early, which is unusual for me. Earlier I was late because I was just looking at my phone and passed by the train stop, and I had to go back like a big dumb guy. Anywho, we're here in the Sega lobby. We're waiting to go into the Sega. We'll tell you how it goes. See y'all later. Bye for now. I haven't been updating y'all as much as I would like. You can't tell. You don't know how long it's been. But it's been a little while. I keep having this problem where I say that I'm going to get people to talk, and then later they don't want to. People don't want to be on a podcast. It's intimidating to them. I understand, but I got work to do. I got to entertain you people. So, yesterday we went to Sega, and unlike Nintendo, Sonic was there. Mario was not at Nintendo, but Sonic was at Sega. So, I guess that proves it. Sega's better than Nintendo. That's the end of the discussion. There were a few Sonics. They also had in their meeting rooms, each meeting room was flavored after a Sega hardware piece or important game or something. Like there was a Super Hang-On room. There was a Virtual Fighter room. The Virtual Fighter room, they had a couple like figures and stuff and a little arcade machine mock-up, which was cool. But then they had a copy of Virtua Fighter for Saturn, and it was like the type of game that you would buy for 100 yen in the junk box. Like it didn't have the obi, it was sun damaged, it had broken manual cover, ripped manual. Sorry, I'm distracted by these guys banging on pipes outside. I don't know if you can hear the pipe banging. There's been some construction nearby. In fact, there's been construction, and there also was like an accident and cops and yelling outside my window today. So I was feeling very, very at home. Reminds me of Oakland, where we have an accident on our street like once a month. Anywho, Sega was cool. I talked to Takumi Yoshinaga, who was the design director of Space Channel 5 and worked on Lunacy on the Saturn, which was interesting. He didn't. I guess that's not a 3D game, so he didn't have to deal with that aspect. I did talk to somebody yesterday who worked on 3D for Saturn, though. He was the J League soccer guy that I was talking about previously. We talked a bit about 3D on the Saturn, and he was like, it was so difficult," and he like made a death face motion, which was good. But we both agreed. I love the Saturn 3D when it's done well, because you can really see that people tried and they had to work hard to make this look good. And he was like, yeah, and then the PlayStation came out, and it was so easy to make something basically look good that anyone could make something that was at least visually fine. And so he agreed that the Saturn was cool. Of course, he worked at Sega, so why wouldn't he think that? He also worked on a game called Dinosaur Hunter, or Dinosaur Hunting, rather, which is an Xbox Japan exclusive, like pre-Monster Hunter like, which is apparently, according to another friend, pretty generic. But I've been trying to hunt that down since I found out about it. He was also the director, I believe, of Chase the Express, either the director or designer, and that's pretty cool. That's a pseudo kusoge Biohazard like, Resident Evil like, but with more of a siphon filter kind of a setting, and you're on a train and you're trying to stop some like terrorist event, but it's Resident Evil tank controls. Pretty neat. Anyway, I got way off the rails because I was talking about Yoshinaga at Sega, not the J League soccer guy from previously. He was saying that he also worked on another game called Burning Fist on the Mega CD, and he's like, it never came out, so nobody knows about it. And I was like, oh, you mean this? And I showed it to him on YouTube, and he's like, how is this on YouTube? I was like, well, the beta leaked somewhere, and people have been playing it. He could not believe it. He was trying to see if he could find some way to explain to me what the game was. I was like, oh no, I know about it. Here it is on YouTube. It's got 20,000 views. Here's a long play on World of Long Plays. That was a surprise for him. We hung out in the Sega Cafe for a little while. Unfortunately, they stopped selling the Mega Drive controller-shaped breads that they used to have. And apparently, they recently had Dreamcast-shaped bread, but they didn't have that either, Dreamcast controller. I was very disappointed, so I didn't get any of that. They have an interesting view. I forget whether I mentioned that from Nintendo's office, from their window, you can see Grasshopper and you can see Platinum. So from Sega's office, you can actually see a Sony building. It's not PlayStation, but it's Sony, so they got to keep an eye on the competition over there. I was not able to figure out the mystery of the shrine being sealed off. I showed a picture to him, and he was like, wow, you used to be able to go up there. I guess he never noticed that you couldn't anymore. But yeah, I'm pretty sure something's being sealed in there. Sega Demons, probably. Something like that. Alright, tomorrow TGS starts, for real. And I'm probably going to have a lot to say about that. I'm already tired of standing, and I'm already tired of speaking Japanese. My brain is just... I guess my Japanese hasn't gotten that much worse since the last time I was here. But what has gotten worse is my brain's ability to process it. Like, it's so much more work to maintain speech in another language for me. It used to be a lot easier, I feel. So I gotta get back to school. If you ever learned a language, keep speaking it. That's my advice. Keep speaking it. Talk to some people in it. I'm gonna start speaking Spanish to my neighbors when I get back home. I've been avoiding doing that, but I'm gonna start back up. I gotta make it happen. Heck, All right. That's my little point of advice from Uncle Brandon. Bye for now. Okay, hello. I'm here with Mark McDonald, who works at Enhance and also Asobu and also Super Deluxe. And where else do you work?
I don't know. Today, those three, but ask me again tomorrow. We'll see.
Okay. So yeah, I wanted to ask, since we're here in Asobu in Shibuya,
Japan.
in Japan, we wanted to ask, I don't know, some sort of interesting story about working at Enhance or something related to that, because as you, the listener, may know, they did Res Infinite and Tetris Effect and the Lumines remaster, yeah,
yes.
etc. Okay,
Yeah.
I got them all in my brain. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, okay, here's the best I got. You put me on the spot, but I had like a minute to think about this. So, Res Infinite, the genesis of that project was Mizuguchi-san came to my old employer, 84, here in Tokyo, do a lot of Loken consulting, and they did the physical Undertale. Actually, they did all the console versions of Undertale. Anyway, he wanted to do a Kickstarter because it was like 2012 and Kickstarters were hot. Yeah. And can I curse on this podcast?
Sure.
Okay.
If you like.
They were hot shit, is where I was going. Anyway, everybody was doing a Kickstarter. We had just done My Number 9, God bless us. And we ran the Kickstarter. We didn't make that game, so blame other people for that. But, it killed him that Res had kept coming out on these systems where it was, like, trapped, as he kind of thought of it, and that the systems would, quote unquote, die. Like, not just anyone could go out and see it, and he was so proud of it. And so he wanted to bring it out on PC, was the original idea, so that, because on PC it kind of like lives forever. Yeah. And so, but we started talking, and then it took a while for the talks to keep going. VR stuff started happening, like the first DK1 with Oculus, and of course he was like, yeah, I originally envisioned Res as a VR game. And so we filmed.
He made those like 2 Game Gear screens that you put in front of
you saw that, yes. Yeah. He was his first year or so at Sega, and this is like 1993, was working in the AR, like right out of college, worked on a prototype. You'd call it like an AR device now, because it had a clear display, but was layering 2D graphics on top of it, and there was no like mesh. It wasn't like reading the room or whatever. It was just displaying 2D graphics on a screen, but you could see through it. And so he was imagining the types of games with that. That kind of led to Res. He originally saw Res as a big, full-fleshed out 3D thing. Of course, there was no VR technology at the time, but he was like bought into VR in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we were like, oh my God, this is really great timing as well. And we were going to we did film the Kickstarter pitch video. Oh. It exists somewhere, not only in video form, and 2-Player Productions, who helped us with the My Number 9 stuff, are the ones who filmed it for us. They were in town for something else and filmed it. Not only did we film it using a Kinect. We filmed it we filmed the 3D data. We captured the 3D data at the same time. And our idea was, and I still think this is a pretty fucking cool idea, that our Kickstarter pitch video
would be 3D.
Was going to be a VR. Yes, you could download it and watch the experience of VR. And so we were doing really weird early experiments with like layering live video on top of. I mean, people are still now kind of figuring it out, but people have done well, especially our friends in the adult entertainment industry have figured out various ways of making that happen. But we used the Kinect, and it was amazing what we got. And I think would have been cool. He was going to be like, ships from Res were going to be flying past him, but basically it was going to be too much of a pain in the ass, so we didn't do it. And lo and behold, then PlayStation had their VR coming out, and it made sense to launch there first, and blah blah blah. The rest is history. So, yeah, how was that?
That was good. Neat. Yeah, it also sort of reminds me of like live video layered with 3D graphics. The first console that really did that was the Dreamcast, because you could have transparent FMV over 3D imagery, and it wasn't used very much, and not many people know that it happens. But you can layer FMV transparently over whatever.
Did any games use that?
Yeah, some games like what is it called? Like Distrega, not Distrega. God, I can't remember. It started with a D. It was mostly like adventure games or games where they had like still screens, but they wanted to do like animations, and so they would just have some CG and they would just layer it on top and stuff. It has a neat look to it that hasn't really been. I haven't really seen
I love that
since,
stuff.
but
I want more FMV games. Why don't you make some? Will you make some FMV games when you're finished with Demon School?
I'm gonna think about it.
I want more. I want not Mad Dog McCree or whatever. I want new, modern, terrible FMV games, not spiritual successors or anything like that.
I mean, I did go to film school. I do hate making movies, so I could make something terrible.
I'm making a motion here, like what the hell? Why is this not already happening then? Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you heard it here first. That's what's going to happen next. Is we're going to make a terrible FMV game. All right. Well, thanks to you, Mark McDonald.
Thank you.
And we'll see you probably around TGS, or maybe we won't because we'll all be too busy.
All right.
Bye for now. So I finally got to eat at Gopinatha, the vegetarian Indian restaurant in Nakano that I like. It was tough to get there because every time I went before it was fully packed. She's only letting single people in there, so it was actually pretty funny. It was just like me and a dapper old man with nice hair waiting outside for the shop to open, and then she opened it up and turned everybody else away because it was all couples trying to come in there. And she put a big sold out sign, and there were just two of us. But it was very delicious. I feel like it's better every time I go there, so no wonder there's a wait. On top of that, as you may have heard before that or after this, depending on where Esper puts it, it literally sounds like Final Fantasy XV's cooking scenes in there. You got the frying oil, the hands clanking, the light guitar music, bird song or whatever. It was just quite the experience. And I'm glad I finally did it right before Tokyo Game Show starts, when the relaxation will stop forever. Well, that's it for me. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Well, I'm out here, Tokyo Game Show day one. I'm standing outside near the smokers, unfortunately. Just ate some natto roll, which I bought yesterday and carried around in my bag for a day. Hopefully that's fine. Because they closed down the old... There was an old lady who ran like an onigiri shop and sold some other stuff, and that's gone now. She had a lot more variety. There is something that replaced it, but it has less variety and is less good. So if you're hearing this somehow, if you've listened to this and then traveled back in time to the start of the show, then make sure to bring some of your own onigiri out here. Our booth is stuck like between some concrete slabs. If you look at it from the side, you can't tell that it exists. But if you're coming for some goddarn headphones from the direction of the Square Enix music booth, then you may see our video game. So I'm hoping that that's what happens. We're gonna see how it goes. I have to admit, I'm not super optimistic about this show versus PAX. Like, I'm having a better time here than I did at PAX, as you've been able to hear, I'm sure. But the experience of exhibiting at PAX was extremely good, and it went over real well. We got our Japanese demo. This is for Demon School, by the way. This isn't the Necrosoft podcast. I should explain that I'm talking about how we have a booth here at Tokyo Game Show for Demon School, Isprid, our publisher, got it, and there's 2 other games of theirs, their World of Horror and No Place for Bravery, and Demon School is one of those 3. And we're just trying to get some press and see if people come by and play it. Public day, hopefully a bunch of regular human beings play it. We'll see if our Steam wish lists go up. That's the whole plan, but I'm feeling a little weird about this one. We'll just see. We'll see if it was a good idea for me to say we're not going to be in the indie corner. That was my thing. Like, let's get our own booth. Let's not be in the indie corner. Might have been a mistake. We're going to find out. Talk to you later. Bye for now. Well, we're on the show floor. TGS. It has started, but there's nobody here for us at the present time. That's okay. Eventually it'll pick up. It's a business day, so we're only expecting like people we know to show up. Hopefully they will. I got Lotte here.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about stuff that we did 2 days ago?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, so tell me what you did. You hung out with Yumiko Miyabe, the art director of Space Channel 5, like half of the day, and had to struggle with language and things. How did it go? What did you see?
Language didn't actually end up being a problem. Her English is real good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had no idea because we've never spoken English before.
Yeah, she was saying it was nice to talk to a British person because she loves Sherlock.
Right.
And so, like, being able to practice, like, British English rather than American English was good. And also having a foreign game development friend who didn't just want to hang around in game shops was good. So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, she was like, let's go somewhere. And I was like, okay, we're going to go to Book Off Super Bazaar. I don't know. I probably should have gone somewhere cooler. Oh, well. But, yeah, so you went to, like...
Yeah, we went to Skytree and we had ice cream.
Delightful.
Yeah, it was a good night.
After that, we went to her ex-boyfriend's curry shop.
Yeah, Magic Kobayashi's, like, gallery and hot foods.
Gallery and Hot Spice.
Yeah.
Gallery and Hot Spice P. Yeah, because it was named after I guess there was, like, a parking lot nearby, and he took this sign, the parking lot sign, and just used the P from the parking. I don't know. It was an odd thing. But the oddest thing about it was that we found out that it was closing 2 weeks after now. I mean, it's closing forever. So we were like one of the last customers ever in that shop, and it was our first time there.
Which is a shame. It was real good.
Yeah, it was nice. And it turns out that he actually, she later told me that she forgot that he used to be a graphic designer instead of a cook. And he did the logo for, like, Rez and some other games. He did a bunch of logo work for Sega, which I did not know.
I didn't know that, but that's cool.
Yeah, so that was good. What else? I don't know. I guess that's it. I've just been shopping, goddarn. I've been telling everybody about my shopping. That's the boringness. Oh, I guess another nice little thing was that last night I went to a game dev hangout, mostly for Western game devs in Japan. They would ask what I do, and I would talk about Necrosoft and Demon School and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, Demon School, I think I heard of that." They probably hadn't, but then sometimes insert credit would come up, and inevitably they would be like, "Oh, insert credit, I know that," or I read that when I was 17 or whatever. The pipeline of insert credit readers to living in Japan is very, very strong. So that was kind of fun. Like, no fewer than 4 people were like, "Oh, insert credit, that's right, that's where I know you from." So consider yourselves part of an elite group, listeners. Elite group of weebs who heck off to Japan at some point. Well, I guess that's all I got. Anything else exciting happening in your life?
There is so many Capcom people here. It's kind of scary. It's like a little private military just wandering around.
Oh yeah, you haven't gotten to see this. So they do this thing where they used to be much more booth babes, but they just get a bunch of ladies.
There were a lot of them as well. Yeah.
A lot of ladies, and they are just all masked they were all massed together, and they do like a lineup in the morning and a lineup at the end to make sure, I don't know, that everyone's there or something. It's like school.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, so we're relatively near the Monster Hunter booth, and so they all have to be prepared for Public Day when all the big backpack wielding dudes are gonna come down here and play Monster Hunter, and then go to the Square Enix music booth, and then hopefully play our video game. I see our volunteer friends. I say volunteer, but we're paying them a little bit, trying their best to hand out flyers. Our booth is like, from the front it looks okay, but from the side you absolutely cannot tell that it exists, because we're in this like recessed concrete zone, and it's invisible. Yeah.
Got our first customer.
Oh, we got our first customer. We got somebody. We got him. Okay, it happened live on the show. They're gonna play it. I'm ready. I'm gonna see how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna watch over their shoulder. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now. Okay, hello. Sitting in Nakano with Jun Shimizu, who was recently actually working on Elden Ring. Can I say that?
Yes.
Okay.
I did work on it, so.
Yeah,
So
you
it's-
did.
It is.
Yeah, doing the localization coordination stuff. And we just came from a kaiju bar. What was it called?
Dai Kaiju Salon.
Dai Kaiju Salon. And I was asking the owner about VHS tapes and where to buy them. And she was explaining about the Japanese film industry and script writing, and also about how people could try to make things freely. Can you tell me some of what she was talking about? Because I got most of it, but not all of it.
Oh.
It was pretty interesting, though.
A lot of people, they like join and belong to the association or the union.
Yeah.
I know.
The like screenwriters
Yeah,
union kind of thing.
Yes. Then you get guaranteed, but you cannot do the stuff you want to.
Yeah, you're just kind of
Yeah.
given work.
Yes. So, but a lot of people belong to that. Then if you're a freelancer, you get like more freedom to do whatever. But it's kind of hard to get a job or get like, a budget.
Yeah. And so we were also talking about like how some people they might be making AV erotic films, but they might take their AV budget and make some kind of their own movie with it because they have more freedom. Something like that, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that was kind of an interesting conversation. We were trying to figure out also where to find tapes, and there were about a couple other people in the bar that were saying that basically all tapes, VHS tapes, have disappeared from Japan in the last 10 years. And like 10 years ago, people were just giving them away, and now they're expensive because people were just giving them because nobody wanted them at that time, right?
Yes. You can find them on Mercari or Yahoo auction.
Yeah.
But they cost much more than
They should.
they should. Yes.
And the owner of the Kaiju bar, the bar is full of like Kaiju characters and tokusatsu. Did I say it right this time?
Tokusatsu.
Tokusatsu. I always mess that one up for some reason. Tokusatsu characters and like original Kaiju that she made and stuff like that. And it's just like full of these vinyl characters and weird suits that you could potentially wear. But the whole place is like smaller than the room that I am renting right now. And so it's packed with stuff, which it gives it a really unique character. And also while we were there, they were watching a TV show about like catching people in the act of dumping trash. It was like we were there for like 45 minutes, and the whole time it was about like people setting up a sting operation to catch people dumping trash illegally and then confronting them.
Really?
Yeah, you couldn't see it because it was the
yeah,
other side.
Yeah, the TV was my.
Yeah, it was like, what is this show? But anyway, it's a it's a really cool.
They usually play the old movies
Yeah.
and like tokusatsu movies or sometimes like horror
Yeah,
movies. But
not this time.
Not
Not this time. The owner of the bar, she's a writer,
She does performance.
but she also writes movies.
I don't think she does.
Oh, okay.
Her husband.
Her husband does.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Her husband name is Nakano Takao.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's a director. And he now does screenwriting.
Screenwriting. I see.
Screenwriting.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she does also some kaiju performance. We saw her in like some giant worm dragon costume bouncing
She does
around.
cat fight too.
Yeah,
Cat fight.
yeah. It's good stuff. So yeah, we're here in Nakano, and you lived here all your life, right?
Not all my life. Long time.
Yeah,
Long time.
from because you were here in high school and stuff.
No.
No,
I'm not. No.
because you were talking about your tennis lessons. Was it?
tennis. No, just a couple years ago.
Oh.
It's not like my.
Oh, I thought that was.
yes,
I thought that was
it's like
Omukashi.
the private tennis school,
Oh, okay.
which is in Nakano. No, Sun Plaza. Sun Plaza.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you said that they're maybe gonna try to tear down Nakano Sun Plaza.
Yes.
Is it definite?
I think so.
Oh, no, when?
yeah. I don't know, but
Will Nakano Broadway go as well?
I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think so. But the whole building is really, really old,
Yeah.
so they might have to do
Renovation.
renovation.
I don't like it.
But I went to see the room.
Yeah.
They're selling.
Uh-huh.
Then they'll kind of make it really nice and
Yeah, but it won't have
New,
the.
but-
Yeah, new is not that nice in my opinion. It doesn't have the character of Nakano.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have like a
Um,
rooftop garden,
That's nice.
but it looks like the how do you say abandoned really like abandoned park. They have
Yeah.
like a little mini golf area.
Is that there now?
Now still.
Ooh,
But
I gotta
nobody's-
check that out.
Yeah, nobody's using it.
I gotta find that.
So you have to you tell them that you want to buy the room so they can show you the
Oh.
the whole building.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah,
But they
man.
have to take you to the office to
Yeah.
ask you all the questions.
Okay,
like how much
so
you can pay.
I
or-
guess I can't. I guess I can't go there. That's too bad for me. So let's see. Let's also talk about some interesting stories from the past. Cause you met Marty Friedman
Oh
of
my gosh!
of Megadeth long time ago.
Long time ago.
Can you tell me that story?
Oh my gosh, that's like really
I know, but
ancient story.
it's really interesting.
It's like okay, yeah. When I was living in LA,
Yeah.
I was a student there. Then I was working at the Japanese restaurant, for the part-time job.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the members from Megadeth sometimes come to have like lunch and dinner. Then I became friend with Marty.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're in the studio. Then they're recording songs for the new album.
Yeah.
Then he asked me that no, it's not really like decided. I mean, it's just a flash idea. We might want you to just read some sentence between the song.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, Then Megadeth is like my favorite band.
Yeah.
So I was really, it's like, oh my gosh. Then so I went to the studio. Then they recorded my voice. Then they used it
Yeah.
in the album.
Yeah. In Symphony of Destruction.
No.
No. Or euthanasia.
No.
Which one?
Countdown
to Extinction. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the most like sold album.
Yeah. Countdown to
for
Extinction.
them.
My brain.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, it's a long time ago. I don't want to even.
No, I this is the sort of thing that I'm supposed to know. So it's embarrassing that I didn't remember it was Countdown to Extinction. Yeah. Yeah.
But that time I was really like so excited that I could be a part of the album.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how do you say? I'm really regret.
Yeah. Regretting what?
Regretting that I should have asked Dave Mustaine to have my name on the album.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Thanks list.
That's true. You should have been in there.
I was like kind of pretending like, oh no, I'm cool.
No big deal. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I should have taken a picture with him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So but anyway, yeah, that's really a big and rare experience that I had.
Yeah, so if you listen to Countdown to Extinction and you hear the number of deaths is increasing or whatever about the animals disappearing and stuff, then that is her. That she did that when she was.
I always skip that song because I don't want to
hear
my
yourself.
Voice. No.
But everybody loves it.
But my parents are really proud of me.
Well, they should be. It was great. It was great. And we worked together a long time ago for a while. That was pretty fun. Do you remember the name? I keep forgetting the name of the producer who came on later in the project. The woman who was a producer. And she was really...
Woman.
She was a woman, and she was very, very good. She was like, she worked on Sonic games before. I hope she's doing well.
I think she's been well.
Okay, good. Yeah, it was a long time ago. That was now 10 or 12 years ago.
Oh.
Something like that. Or at least 11 years ago that it stopped. Yeah.
Chie-san.
Oh, that might be right. Yeah, that sounds good. Yoshida Chie. No, that's sounding right to me. So yeah, we sure are here in the later hours of Nakano where everybody's getting drunk and falling down. A dude just fell down. You missed it, but a dude just and Oji-san just fell down and knocked a sign over.
Oh.
He's walking away now.
Okay.
He just put his hat on backwards, so he's ready to be a cool guy. Yeah, it's real Nakano time out here right now.
But it's been slow, I think.
It's true.
It's weekday?
Well, it's weekday.
Weekday.
Yeah.
Weekday.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
weekday.
I like this Showa Shinmichi kind of area where they have the old lanterns and things. It gives a nice
old style bars, snack.
and karaoke bar, and that we just heard some interesting singing.
Great singer.
We really missed. Unfortunately, I was able to record somebody, but I didn't record the really bad singer, who was so good because they're so earnest about it. They really were trying. They're just not totally tone deaf. It was really delightful. Okay, well, I feel like I had a lot more to say, but I lost it. So I'm gonna let you go to sleep. It's midnight now. It's actually almost midnight exactly. It's exactly midnight.
000.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's all zeros. So yeah, all right. It was a fun night of. Oh wait, I have one more thing, just to tell the people listening, which is that I was talking to one of the other people in the bar cafe, the Kaiju place. He was described by the owner as a normal guy. Whereas the others were not described as normal. He was a normal guy. This normal guy actually knew a lot about City Pop and the music that I've been buying, the records I've been buying. But what was also interesting is he knew about Ginger Root, who fans of the show may be aware of because I've recommended them in the past. But Ginger Root is like based around the LA area and does kind of that Showa era music, but from an American perspective. But this guy in the shop was referencing him casually, like, oh yeah, so like Ginger Root is part of this city pop revival and stuff. I was really surprised that like it's now made its way back to Japan. He said that probably not everyone in Japan knows, but I thought that was pretty cool that the thing that we have remade popular in the West has and then revitalized has now kind of like come back to here, and people are enjoying the American interpretations of it. I don't know, it's kind of neat and interesting. I did not expect to hear Ginger Root casually bandied about. So yeah. I'm going to see if I can find some... Oh, also the owner of the shop called somebody... there's a lot of sounds happening. Called somebody... He works at like a AV shop. Is that right? The guy that she called?
Yes.
Yeah, so he works at like an erotic movie shop. She called him to ask where I could find tapes. Cassette tapes. I mean, VHS tapes. And he came up with a couple of places. So... I don't know, everybody was so nice. What a lovely place. So if you're ever in Nakano, I recommend that you go there. Check it out. And that's it. I'll say bye for now. You want to say bye?
Ah, bye-bye. おやすみなさい.
Yeah, oyasumi everybody. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. I realize I forgot to tell y'all about the one nice thing that happened at Day 1 Tokyo Game Show, which is that the two people that I helped mentor at the IGI program that you may have heard me talk about, the indie game incubator or whatever it's called, the Japanese indie game thing that I'm a part of, where I mentor folks. The first two people that I helped mentor came up to the booth to my booth at the end of the show, and I was like, holy crap, it's you guys. And both of them have publishers, both of them are on track to release, both of the games look good, and I'm really pleased. It was nice to see them. They both gave me their flyers and stuff and said thanks for your help, and it's cool to see that. I mean, I didn't do that much. I was just like talking to them about stuff and giving them suggestions and things. But it's just nice to see that the program, regardless of my input, was able to help them get on a path to success and to releasing their games. The games are Ninja or Die and Never Awake. And Never Awake, realistically, I don't think that guy needed any help at all. His last game was good, and his current game is good, and the end. But regardless, it was fun for me to be involved, and it was just nice to see that they're doing well. They're making their video games. They got stands in the indie section of the show as well, and it's all coming together. So yeah, it's nice when something that you do pays off a little bit, and that was the feeling I got out of that. So I gotta mention the positive stuff that happens. I'm trying to be positive. Gotta be positive. That's the stuff. All right. Bye for now. So day 2 of Tokyo Game Show is over. I think it was day 2. Feels like it was about day 15. And I have here Andrew Kiya, who is a freelance writer and who was actually able to go around and look at things at TGS. You say hello.
Hello.
you've said hello. So yeah, what kind of stuff did you get to see? I hear that you saw the Ryuga Gotoku Ishin, right?
Yes, Ishin Kiwami, the new remake of the Kiwami game, I believe, came out I think about like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was PS3. So this is the like Edo period one, right?
It's Edo period, right before the Meiji Restoration, and the main character is supposed to be Sakamoto Ryoma, who's a very important figure to Japanese modern history. Well, the whole thing is that it's not exactly Ryoma, because he's also played by Kazuma Kiryu of the Yakuza franchise. Yeah.
Hooray! So how was it? Because you actually got to play it.
It was...
Like, was it Yakuza? Had you played the original as well? Because I haven't.
So I've only played bits of the original. I played Yakuza Kiwami 0 for like 10-15 minutes. It wasn't really my thing back then. And it was pretty much exactly that, with a coat of Edo historical aesthetic put onto it. I've done a little bit of research into the original game, and it seems like it's pretty accurate, aside from the cutscenes, which are completely redone. The facial animations look really good, as with most modern Yakuza titles that we've seen. So yeah, I was very impressed.
Very good. I'm looking forward to that, and I wish I could have played it. You got to play Resident Evil Village in VR?
Yes.
How was that?
That was terrifying, because not only was it the first time that I played Village, I played a couple of the earlier, especially the remakes.
Like 2 and 3?
2 and 3. But I'd never played Village before, and I'd never had a VR headset, and this was the PSVR 2. So it had the camera that allows you to actually see your surroundings. It had haptic feedback on the controllers. And Lady Dimitrescu in the VR is tall. Like, when you look up, I put a photo on my Twitter, but when you look up at her, like, she's actually at a 45-degree angle, like, higher than you. It was terrifying.
I mean, that's what the people want.
That is what the people want. And it was the basically the very beginning scene where Lady Dimitrescu and the three sisters capture you and string Ethan Winters up by his hands with the hooks.
Yeah.
And the whole thing pretty much played exactly as how I saw it. You reload the gun manually with your hands, and you actually have to cock it back to start shooting. You get a knife too, which is really cool. Both of those things were very, very satisfying. But yeah, it was scary. Like, you could actually land headshots if you aim properly, which is really cool. Yeah, all in all, terrifying experience, and I'm very excited to see. I need a PSVR and I need a PS5, unfortunately. But
you hear that, Sony? If you're wondering what those thonking sounds are, we're underneath a highway right now. So that's it's not a highway. We're underneath the it's like a
parking garage?
Yeah, overpass to a parking garage kind of thing is what's going on. Yeah, so what else did you get to see?
I saw pretty much most of the big stops. I checked out the entire Capcom booth, including the new Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak update that's coming out, I think, at the end of this month, September. I played Exoprimal for about an hour and a half. I was super lucky because I didn't even get a queue ticket, and I managed to get a seat in at the very end, and they let us play for an extra 30 minutes. That game was really fun.
Does it basically play like Dino Crisis plus Lost Planet, like we're hoping?
Yeah, I think so. There was multiple classes that you could choose from, and there was different game modes. There was a 5v5 game mode where where we actually fought against another team that was sitting across from us. And you had to push this like cube and if you destroyed their cube first, you won. And then there was a second 10v, basically PvE mode, where we fought against this huge purple dinosaur, and we actually wiped once, and they let us play again, and we beat it on the second try, which was really cool. But the cooperation in that game was really satisfying. I played tank most of the time, and I could very much tell that I was like supporting my teammates, and I was like calling for a healer. And the whole thing about the game is that you can basically switch classes on the fly. So if I ever needed a healer and there weren't any healers on my team, someone could just switch to a healer class and then, give heals to everyone. So that sense of, camaraderie or cooperation, even with people that I've never met before, right, I think really goes to show, how well the game is designed.
That's cool. Also, the thing about like pushing a cube, and everybody's got to push a cube and destroy the other cube. It's making me think about like a PvP like myth of Sisyphus. I think he's the guy. He's the guy that's pushing the rock up the hill, right? Anyway, whoever's pushing that rock up the hill, I'm just thinking about like multiplayer pushing the rock up a hill, and everyone's trying to push their rock up and get everyone else's rock to fall down. We might have to prototype that now that I've thought about it. Anyway, what else did you play? I heard you waited in line for like an hour and a half to play Atelier Mary 3 or whatever Atelier game it was.
I waited, I think, 75 minutes to play Atelier Ryza 3 for 15 minutes, and it was okay. It was an Atelier Ryza game. Mm-hmm. That's as far as I could say. There was the open world exploration mechanics were pretty interesting, but at the end of the day, it was pretty much an Atelier Ryza game. I think I can't really comment much on that one.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that you had to wait that long for it. Tell me about other things that were cool.
I think
or bad.
Oh, Christ. I really, really liked... So, Capcom's also... Sorry, I'm just sounding like a Capcom fanboy right now. Cool. But I played Mega Man Battle Network 2.
Oh, yeah, so that's a remake, right?
Yes, so they're releasing a Legacy Collection, which includes basically all 10 mainline Battle Network games.
Yeah.
I played 2 because that was the one that I played when I was a kid. And it's exactly how I remembered it. It's almost exactly the same. They did this weird
Well, it might be emulated, so it might be exactly the same.
That's the thing, is I think it may be emulated, but there's this weird high-resolution filter thing that they put on.
Yeah.
It's almost like upscaling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you played the Legend of Mana remake that Square Enix released.
I looked at it.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. The background textures are almost muddied a little bit, and the one issue that I had with that, aside, everything else was perfect. I love Battle Network, and I think if people played it before and want to play it again, and you don't have any way to emulate it, definitely give the Legacy Collection a go. But the one issue that I had was the amount of effort and care that was put into the pixel art of the original game was kind of just lost. The high resolution filtered kind of makes everything too smooth in a way.
Yeah.
So that was one issue that I had, but otherwise that really made my day. I think yesterday when I played it.
Well, that's good. Even with the crappy filter, I'm not a. There's a lot of bad filters going around these days, which is very unfortunate. One funny thing with Battle Network is that our game Demon School, there have been a few people who are of a very specific age who are oh, this is just like Battle Network, because that was the first tactics-ish game that they played on their GBA as kids. Yeah.
I played Demon School and I don't really see the resemblance, to be honest.
But it's isometric and it has tactics, and so and there's some school stuff that happens, so they can kind of...
Yeah, I could see that. Okay.
So what else did you get in there?
I played... Let me think.
Alright. Because I played nothing, and this is why you're getting grilled, because I got to play nothing. But one thing I did do that I will talk about is that I met the the composer for the Tengo project, Tengo project games for Natsume Atari. So like the Pocky and Rocky remake, the Wild Guns Reloaded, and turns out he also just made the original Super Famicom music for Pocky and Rocky. He also did the like Omega 5 and all those cool games that I liked, and he was just there handing out flyers. He was just a old man, just a man who was there handing out his flyers in like a tiny little booth. I was like, what, man, they could have hired somebody to do this, but he must want to do it. I don't know. It was cool though. I took a little picture with him. Yeah, what else did you play?
So at the very first day, at the very beginning, I went to the Square Enix booth and I played Crisis Core, Final Fantasy Reunion.
Yeah.
Pretty good game, I will say. It looks to be what I would like to say a perfect remake, almost.
Crisis Core is one of the very few Final Fantasy line games that I've completed. I've basically... It's like that one and Final Fantasy 15 are the only two Final Fantasy games that I have finished. So for whatever reason, I liked Crisis Core. I think part of it had to do with it being on the PSP while I was commuting, and so it was just like a game that I could get through. But the one thing that bugs me about that game was that all the side quests were random generated dungeons. But the random is in very heavy quotes because it was like there were basically 4 types of dungeon and they all took forever and yeah, 4 templates. It was like a maze and you didn't get a map, and it was just like if you go the wrong way then you're just like wandering around. It was those were not fun. So I'm really curious if there was any hint of what they're doing with those. Probably not, but
so unfortunately the demo only was pretty much limited to the beginning part. With the Wutai Stronghold infiltration at the very beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. And it went all the way up to a fight with Ifrit, which was really cool. But on your point about playing it on the PSP, I think the good news is I played it on the Nintendo Switch, so it is available on Nintendo Switch and I think PS5. I played it on the Nintendo Switch, and it looks good.
Nice. No
frame drops that I could see. Pretty much like a solid 60 FPS in every level that I was playing it in, which was really surprising to me because most Switch games that I played, especially I play a lot of Monster Hunter Rise, tends to kind of stutter at some points. Especially a game like Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example, has a big stuttering issue. But I didn't see any of that with Crisis Core, which really surprised me for the quality of the graphics that was in the game.
Nice. I guess they worked on it. Well, that's a good one, because that's one I definitely wanted to know about. I wanted to know how it was. So I'm probably going to play that one through again. Well, we'll see how far I get. And I don't know. I guess that's... Unless you got any other big ones that you'd like to mention? What do you think?
I played a game called Monochrome Mobius,
okay,
which is a game in the Utawaremono series. It was in the HappyNet booth, and it was it's a shame because it was a very beautiful game, very graphically impressive. I played them on the PS5, but man, a lot of open world RPGs nowadays that just don't really get the open world part right. I played One Piece Odyssey 2, and it kind of had the same issue where like there's like this general formula that open world JRPGs particularly tend to go with the command battle system and like a big world, and there's monsters on the overworld that you can attack to get an advantage in the battle, but not much other than that, which was a real shame to see. I think there was a lot of games at TGS that kind of fit that bill, and kind of just melded in between. So like, unless you were a fan of that specific franchise, you wouldn't, like, no one really cared much about it. So
yeah, it really reminds me of the Xbox 360 days when companies in Japan were like, we need to make a third-person shooter for the Western audience, and they would just like make something mediocre that they weren't really even into because it felt like the thing that was supposed to happen. And I feel like open world is like the third-person shooter of the current Japanese industry.
Yeah, like games will put in maybe one or two gimmicks that'll give it kind of a uniqueness. Like in One Piece Odyssey's case, it was that they had this the rock paper scissors mechanic that was kind of like Monster Hunter Stories, and also this like strange area mechanic in which there's like certain turfs that players would be able to attack enemies in, and if you wanted to attack an enemy in another turf, you'd have to move there to then attack them. But aside from that, again, it was your standard command battle system, and you choose a special attack every now and then that would do more damage. And yeah, like you got to be a One Piece fan essentially to kind of be like, ooh, this is a reference to that part of the manga or the anime. And unfortunately for me, I'm not really that knowledgeable about One Piece, so I was playing it, I'm like, man, I should just be playing Monster Hunter Stories, or, something like that.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Stories is for kids. Yeah, well, I'm still waiting for Two Piece. I think it's gonna come out eventually. We're gonna get.
When's Two Piece coming out?
Yeah, when is Two Piece? See, I've been waiting.
Making One Piece for 2 decades now.
Yeah, like what is this? A live service game? Let's get Two Piece. All right, so that's it. We're gonna end on that note. The cops are here. They're doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but they're certainly here. So we're gonna go. they're escorting somebody to something. I don't know, but
Someone's in trouble.
Anyway, we're sitting in an area that's cordoned off, so I think that we'll mosey along. Well, thank you very much. You wanna like say your Twitter handle or anything for people?
Yeah. My Twitter handle is Kiandrew, Kiy Andrew. And you can check most of my writing on Silicon Arrow. I do daily coverage as well as features. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks. Goodbye to you all from this mall in Chiba where we went to go buy Mr. Donut. I forgot to mention that that's what we were here for. We were here to buy Mr. Donut, and now we're sitting under this overpass, and now the cops are here. And so we are leaving. Bye for now. Okay, hello again. I'm here with Cheryl Ng. Is that an acceptable Anglicization of your last name?
Oh, it's Ng.
It's Ng. Man, see, I'm really bad at that particular one. It's not good. But I'm gonna leave this in to cement my embarrassment. So here we are. You've been doing translation and stuff for us here, and I've talked about this on here a bit, but like I'm having a real hard time speaking all this Japanese right now, and I'm processing what people are saying and I'm translating it, and then I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say and I'm translating that, and it's just like multiple processes going on simultaneously. So how you speak multiple languages, how have you kind of compartmentalized to where you can just like accept a foreign language and then spit it back out without having to grind your brain into dust?
I think because I've been in Japan for at least 7 years, so that kind of helped me get used to linking a word with the Japanese meaning. Mm-hmm. So instead of going through a translation in my head, it just comes out as a one-to-one mapping.
Yeah.
And
what was if you can remember, because it was probably long enough ago that you've forgotten, do you remember what it was like getting to that stage? Because I was at one point able to listen to things and then speak straight out, but I lost it, and I'm not really sure how to regain it, aside from perhaps like immersion or something. But if you can remember anything about that.
When I first started, it was like you translate from English to like, oh, maybe it's this Japanese word, is it this word, that word? It's like when you start thinking in Japanese, then you start getting used to outputting directly in Japanese.
Yeah, I remember at one point I was having Japanese dreams.
Oh.
Yeah, and when that starts to happen, then it's like, okay, maybe my brain understands how to process
Yeah.
this. Yeah. What is the most difficult aspect of translation?
It's finding the best way to make it sound natural, because you could probably map each word to a meaning itself, but whether that actually makes sense to the native person and whether it sounds natural or not, that's the difficult part, because you're always finding trial and error of what phrase would actually make sense in the context.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've definitely had a lot of times where I'll be like explaining something to somebody and then they'll be like, oh, this other word.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I guess it's that other word now. I'm going to try to remember that. But then I usually forget it. So how do you log that stuff in your brain?
It's getting
Just good
used to-
memory?
Yeah, and repeating it. Once you repeat it, I guess maybe 5 times, you've seen that word at least 5 times, then maybe you automatically switch to that word when you hear, when you're looking for that specific translation, maybe.
Yeah. And Japanese has a lot of set phrases and stuff, and they're sort of like which ones are popular kind of evolves over time. Do you find it difficult to keep up on those? Because, like, I don't know, this phrase "one point out device" has like started coming up in the last couple of years, and now everybody's using it. Like, does it just sort of naturally flow into your language, or do you have to really try to pay attention to it?
It depends on whether your immediate social circle use it. So if I hear it enough from the people around me, I start to use it. And I think that happens for the other Japanese people as well. I hear, like, when the people who start to go to work, to the shakaijin, when they join a company, the company might use a lot of English words, like maybe like marketing for marketing, and the people actually use it to try to describe what they do as a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's to me, it's like once I hear one of these, I feel like I hear it and then I hear it 50 times right after that, and then it starts to get really annoying, and then I don't want to use it. But you kind of have to, because it's like
It's the fastest way to get someone to understand what you're trying to what you're trying to say.
Yeah, totally. And there's a phrase that I learned in India, and we don't use it in English, but they use it in English.
Ooh.
And it's the phrase is "do the needful," which is basically like just do what needs to be done and nothing more. And it's actually like a really good phrase, kind of.
It shortens what you need to say.
Yeah, so sometimes they can be cool. All right, well, thanks for that. It was nice talking, and I'll let y'all go now.
Hey, thank you.
Bye for now. Okay, now is the long-awaited time when we talk about all the video games that I bought, which is what people have been requesting. So it's happening now, and we've got Paul O'Leary McCann. Is that how
That's
I would
right.
say your name?
That's right.
Okay, yeah. Who is does AI things and has lived here for a long time and helped me exhibit Gunsport like
Probably been 5 years.
5 years ago.
Yeah. I think it's probably been 5 years since we did the Gunsport thing.
Oh dang.
But you got it released, so that's good.
Yeah, we got that released. Now we're doing Hypergunsport. So we're gonna talk about video games. I got a lot of monos here. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know what there's a huge pile. So let's just look at some of these. I picked up this Gunpei for PlayStation because it was originally a WonderSwan game, and I just found it very odd that it came to PlayStation. And it's still Bandai, obviously. They added characters and stuff. I don't know. Have you?
Yeah, so I actually got interested in Gunpei recently since it was one of the last things made by Yokoi Gunpei, the Game Boy guy. And this is supposed to be okay, but the last versions they made were the PSP version and the DS version. And
Oh,
those
right.
are both interesting in their own way. I think the PSP version in particular had a lot of interesting music. And I started playing it to like figure out the game because I never played it before, and it was a little bit too hard for me. But it does have a lot of the like 90s J-pop aesthetic. So like if you Like I've been playing Suzuki Bakuhatsu recently.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And it has the same kind of thing going on.
Yeah. I forgot about the PSP one, and I believe it had Tate play so that you could like play with the vertical.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think so. I might be making that up. I don't know. Anyway, Gunpei for PlayStation 1. I got the PS1 one. I believe I have the other one somewhere.
It's only 1,200.
Only 1,200 yen. It was a cheap purchase. This here was not a cheap purchase. We're not going to talk about how many yen dollars it cost, but a lot cheaper now because of the exchange rate, we'll say. I got Blast Wind for the Saturn, finally. And they like took it apart to make sure that I could confirm everything in there, and because they when you're spending a certain amount of yen dollars on a Saturn game,
right,
then it becomes so. Blast Wind is a shooter from Technosoft, and it's just expensive because it's a shooter on the Saturn, but it's one of the ones that was later, lower print run, etc. But it's
what's special? Does it have like a special bomb or option system or something?
Probably.
Okay.
It's
wait. Hold on. If you don't know much about this one, when do you want to get this one? Are you collecting all like Saturn shmup or something?
Yeah, like there's like 5 that I don't have. Maybe actually maybe now 4.
Okay. Do you have is Radiant Silvergun on the Saturn?
Yeah.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Radiant Silvergun is one that I bought in a lot with Psychic Killer Taromaru, which is like a $2,000 game right now.
Okay.
And Steam Hearts, which is also a pricey game, and I managed to get all of those 3 with an eBay discount and talking to the person discount for $700.
Wow. Okay.
Which is still a lot of money, but is roughly like a fifth of the current price.
Was that recent or was that a long time ago?
It was, I guess it was like 5 years ago now. So it's long enough ago that the price is now irrelevant, basically.
Okay.
Just quickly, I got Runabout, which is a climax game, and it's like a open world-ish car game, and you could like smash things, and it's got a soundtrack by the Surf Coasters, which is a Japanese surf rock band. So that's pretty cool.
Sounds cool.
What else we got? We got I don't need to talk about this one. This one, I don't know what the heck it is. It's a Ark the Lad monster game with casino game. And it's got really cute graphics, and it looks really nice, but it is clearly saying that it's got 2 discs with Ark the Lad casino game, but I don't see any casino on the back here. I'm not a big reader, so I can't really tell what's going on there.
So it looks like you can share your data and play against friends.
Okay.
And so the second disc is the casino game. So on the first disc, I think there's a like theater mode, so you can view every line in the original Ark the Lad.
Okay.
I don't know much about Ark the Lad. What is the monster game? Do you know what that is?
I don't know, because Ark the Lad is like a tactics RPG. So like, what is this? I don't know.
So it looks like you can use all the monsters that became your companions in the original game and play with them in a new way. I don't know what that means.
All right. Well, I'm going to find out eventually when this is in my house. So that's going to be good. Oh, quickly, I just want to run through. I bought like a stack of junk Dojin games at Beep. And a lot of them, Beep is, for those who do not know, is like the PC shop that is in Akiba, and they also do software releases now, and they worked on, for example, Cut and Remake. I think not Cut and Rebirth, but Cut and Remake. Anyway, I got this shooter, which is called Another Apocalypse. I don't know anything about that, but there's this Battle Azumanga game, which is like a bunch of weird pseudo 3D running around and knocking soccer balls around and stuff, and everybody's chibi, and it looks pretty cute. I'm interested in this one. I don't really know. Wait, what circle made it even? It's
Little Space Software?
Oh yeah, Little Space Software. I don't know them at all. I got Parties Breaker. Long time fans of the show will know about Parties Breaker. This is Queen of Heart 2001. It's the sequel to Queen of Heart 99, which was a great game, and this one is also there. And I got Drill Girl Spirit Nami. Spiral Nami, which is some sort of a versus puzzle game starring somebody, and it's got pornography in it, which I don't need that part, but it's in there.
2002.
2002. Yeah, these are all from that like golden era, except for this one. The Another Apocalypse is from 2009, but these are all from like that just getting out of Windows 98 and then Windows 2000 era. So a lot of hot stuff. They're all junk though, so they might all be broken and not work at all. But I'm excited about it. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what this is. I got some. This is some sort of
Tetsujin.
Yeah, it says action role-playing movie, so they're calling it an ARPM, and it sort of looks like a first-person shooter, but it's got a lot of weird nonsense in it. It's for 3DO, which is, there's a lot of weird...
You got this at Friends?
I got it at Friends. Yeah.
Friends still exists?
Friends still exists. I was just talking about this on here earlier, but so Friends used to be cool and small, and then it got to 2 floors, and then it got weird, and now they're back to 1 floor.
Okay.
And they're cool again.
They're cool.
They're cool.
Did the staff change?
No, the staff it's like when it was...
Because I also experienced this, and if you look at like even the like public reviews on like Google Shops or whatever, you see that like some people go in and there's like an old woman and a middle-aged guy, and sometimes the middle-aged guy just decides to yell at you.
Yeah, so that's her husband, and he doesn't...
Okay, I thought it was like a mother and son.
Oh, maybe. Oh, actually, that's possible.
Some people
as well.
said that was the case.
No, you might be right. Maybe he's the son. I did also see her husband there.
Okay.
At some time, but anyway, neither of the men were cool, and they aren't there anymore.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah, so it's just her, and she's super nice. In fact, she. I don't know if I fully described this in the show, but I didn't have enough money, and I know I said that I didn't have enough money to buy what I wanted, but she like. Oh, I did say this already. All right, it's fine. I'll say it again. She she kept it for me.
Oh wow, okay.
Until the next day, and she had me sign my name on the back of her receipt and stuff, and I made it weird somehow, and she was surprised. But whatever. She held it for me and recognized me when I came back, and that's the friends of old. She's like, okay, you're gonna make this purchase, even though there's all these other Caucasians in here trying to buy things. I'm gonna hold this for you to come back tomorrow, and
wow.
That's nice.
Oh, that's nice. I have to actually check it out.
So
again.
the old Friends is back,
but I didn't want to go back.
Yeah, no, you should check it out because I think soon it will be gone for real.
Okay.
Yeah, because now that they're back down to 1 floor, they're just selling out the rest of what they have. But there's a lot of deals there right now. Here is a sealed PC Engine game that I bought for 1,000 yen, so that's $8. It's just F1 simulation project, but it's it's a laser soft Nihon Telenet game. It's sealed. It's 1,000 yen.
Wow.
This is pretty cheap. About another F1 game over here, which is also sealed, also from Friends, 950 yen. Yeah, we went to, me and Lotte, who's a Necrosoft programmer, went to the Book Off Super Bazaar that is near,
That's the 8-story building they have?
It's the one. No, it's not that one. There's many super bazaars, but this one is. But wait, where's that 8-story building?
Oh no, wait, I'm thinking of the Surigaya building.
Oh, okay.
Surigaya has a tiny building that's actually the footprint is very small, but it's 8 stories tall and it's all just Surigaya. And that's near Beat.
All 8 stories are Surigaya?
Yeah. And the retro PC games are on the top floor. Son
of a heck! All right. Well, I'll go back there on Sunday because I really thought it was just the ground floor.
That's the one that has the basket out front with the Pokemon plushies or something. Yeah.
What a fool. Okay. Well, I'm glad I know that now. I bought Super Idol Graphic Mahjong.
Okay, so this is FMV Mahjong.
This is a PC Engine HuCard game from Games Express. So Games Express is from... They're a Taiwanese, basically pirate game company that were making their own HuCards with their own tech, and they always put adult stuff in there, but it's just, I don't know, this was much cheaper than I usually see these, and it's not I really want a strip Mahjong game, which is what this is, but I like Mahjong. One of the ladies has a little dog. I mean that's cool.
Does the dog wear clothes?
The dog, I don't see a collar, so the dog is also nude. I'm afraid.
Got this. Oh.
Yeah, I got the maid and machine gun.
Yep.
Which I don't know, it used to be expensive, the maid machine gun, but...
Okay, I was actually looking at getting this, and it was 2,000 yen when I was looking at it.
Yeah.
So now it's even cheaper.
Yeah, now it's 480 yen, so at 480 yen, how can you resist? It's the maid machine gun. Mm-hmm. I got this, first of all, I'd never heard of Easy 1980 as a series of,
I've never
Easy 1980 is like Simple 2000,
Right.
but
It's not from 1980 because it's a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah, no. So it's it's the price.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 19. It's like
so. This is
20
actually a
yen
different
cheaper.
company.
Yeah. So it's Aki Corporation.
No idea.
Never heard of them. But anyway, the game is Def Jam Fight for New York, and these Def Jam games in America have been getting extremely expensive. Like you can't get these Def Jam fighting games for less than $150 now.
Is that because they weren't produced in large numbers, or like?
It has been very difficult to discern why, but it's become popular on YouTube is one thing, and then I thought they were produced in large numbers because it's EA and all, but I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe it's just like hard to find complete, I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, because it's expensive, I've become interested in it.
I see.
And so, but the Japanese version was like $9.
Okay.
So I went for it. I'm curious to know if the music's going to be the same, or if they're going to have different stuff. I assume it's going to be the same, but still interesting. See, I got Der Langrisser FX, which is a PCFX game that I had been wanting to get, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere here, and so my buddy ordered it for me on Mercury.
Oh, okay, Mercari.
Yeah, Mercari, and he got it to his place, and now I have it. And
cool.
I also got Cutie Honey for PCFX, which for some bizarre reason I can't figure out has been rising astronomically in price. And it's like another of those kind of like FMV fighting game thingies, but it's made by Data West, which is a company I like.
So wait, is an FMV fighting is it like a Street Fighter style fighting game? Or like...
No, it's like you have characters and you do moves, and then they perform them with full motion video. So it's really like a choose your own anime-ish.
Oh, so it's like Time Girl or Time Gal.
It's like Time Gal, but more like Battle. But it's not all the way like Battle Heat. So it's somewhere in between, like a Time Gal and a visual novel and Battle Heat, something like that.
Huh. Yeah, I'm trying to think why that would be popular, but there's not like a new Cutie Honey property, and it's not like Nagaigo died, so I'm not sure why it would.
Yeah, it's just any game console where there is a low number of titles is something that you can collect them all.
Right. Yeah.
And PCFX has, I believe, 64 games.
Oh, is that okay?
And so, like, the ones that were in slightly lower print runs are just inevitably going to increase, or the ones that are more game-like. So, like, there's one shooter, which I actually did buy it somewhere in this pile, and then there's like a action platformer fighting game thing, which is really cool, and I will never be able to afford that one. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. I also got Minimum Mnemonic for PCFX.
It's really cute.
Honestly, I do not know what this game is.
There's not a single screenshot on the back.
Yeah, I think that it has it. All they talk about in the back is like the OVA and how the opening animation is in here. And I don't know. The reason I bought it is because, well, first of all, it's a PCFX game I don't have, but also the price on this one has been rapidly going up as well for reasons that I do not understand.
I see.
And so I bought this one for about 4,000 yen. And that's about half of what I had been seeing it for elsewhere.
Okay.
So this is one of those things.
So I'm just gonna say this is from Mandarake, and they have an ABC rating grade for like a couple of categories. And I've bought stuff from Mandarake where it's been marked like C, and it's like there's nothing wrong with this.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Again, this is marked B for both of the categories, and it looks flawless.
Yeah, I mean it's possible that like there could be a slight amount of sun damage or something, right? Like it could be a little faded or something.
Right.
I don't know. It's a big mystery. Let's see. Oh, we gotta watch your last train here.
Oh yeah.
We're at 11:35.
I'm alright. I got 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that's some fun extra news for you on the show. We're watching out for the last train because it's 11:35. Okay, Stray Sheep. I don't remember why I bought this. I bought this I know why I bought it. I bought it because somebody on the Insert Credit forums...
So I remember that too, and I was looking at buying it for the same reason. Because it's an adorable, like, low-poly game, right?
Yeah. I don't remember anything else except for they showed the graphics of it, and I was like, heck yes. So now I have it. So thanks to whoever posted that on the Insert Credit forums, I put it on my list, and I went out and bought it. Now here's one I embarrassingly purchased at Super Potato. but it is a shooting game that I had never heard of, and I'm looking at the back. There's 3 screenshots, and the background is identical in all 3, and the ship is in the same position.
Okay.
Take a look. I don't know
So
what
technically
this
there
is.
are 2 other screenshots, but you're right about the
No,
3 screenshots.
the other 2 screenshots are CG.
So we have it's you're flying over a big city and there's highways, and in one you're shooting a laser, and another you're shooting multiple lasers, and in one there's like a giant flaming Buddha.
Yeah.
But
the background has not scrolled.
It hasn't changed.
And the player character has not moved.
Maybe that's the game. Maybe it's a one-button shooter.
It might be a one-button shooter. I don't.
Also, it's called. So you know what Tsutenkaku is, right?
I don't know what Tsutenkaku is.
That's the tower in Osaka.
Oh.
But it's a pun here. So Tsutenkaku is like written with I guess it's different kanji, but here in English it's written 2, like the number.
Yeah, TWO.
Tenkaku, and you can see this looks like the Osaka Tower on the
front.
Yeah,
I see now.
So near future Osaka people use near future Osaka as the stage for a near future Osaka shooting game. They say near future Osaka shooting game. So I don't know what's going on, but it's some kind of Osaka in joke. But yeah.
Man, yeah, I bet it's like some in joke from like specifically from 1996 or something like that or 1995, which is when this came out, that I guess everybody probably knew about at that time. I don't know. It was in the shooting section, and I'd never heard of it. It's on PlayStation, and I was just like, I don't know, man. Let's go for it. It wasn't that much. Speaking of things that are not that much, here's the opposite. This is Mad Stalker Full Metal Force, which is... So Mad Stalker was originally on the Sharp 68000. Then there was a release for the PC Engine arcade card. And then there was this PlayStation 1 remake, which completely remakes that game. And then more recently, it got released on Mega Drive because there was a finished version of it for Mega Drive.
When you say more recently, do you mean when the Mega Drive was like...
No, I mean like a year ago.
Okay, and so was that like official, or was it...
It was official.
Wow.
Yeah, because FamilySoft has kind of... Opera House has taken over all the FamilySoft properties. I think it's original FamilySoft people. And so they're who's making a new Asuka game also.
Oh, okay.
And so they released it along with... I think it was Strictly Limited released it in the West, and they released it themselves in Japan. I have the Japanese version. But yeah, anyway, all the versions of this game have become incredibly expensive, and it's ridiculous. And so this game, which I bought also at Friends, is like half the price of what I've seen elsewhere.
Wow.
So...
It's a big half.
Yeah, it's a big half, though. But, with that exchange rate...
Yep.
It's not so bad. So anyway, I have Mad Stalker Full Metal Force, and I have all the Mad Stalkers except the Sharp 68000 one, which I'm not going to buy.
Okay.
So the end. I also got Thunder Force Gold Pack 2 for less than it's usually selling for. That's on Saturn. So Thunder Force Gold Pack 2 has Thunder Force AC, which is the arcade game, and Thunder Force 4. And the nice thing about this one is that you can play as the arcade ship in 4 and the 4 ship in arcade, and so but recently they did a re-release that allowed you to do that elsewhere, so whatever. But I still got it because it's cheaper. I got Zero Gunner 2. Zero Gunner is a helicopter shooting game from Psycho, and it's fun because you kind of you aim the ship, but the bullets kind of trend toward the center. And so it's more like you're swinging the ship around.
So it's like you have a fixed aiming reticule, but you sort of move around that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is neat. And you do have some free flight within that, but it's neat and weird. I bought the Last Blade Final Edition on Dreamcast. I don't actually know if that's different, but this is the Playmore release, not the SNK release. So it's like SNK released it, and then Playmore re-released it. And they called it Final Edition. I honestly don't know if there's anything different with it. But it looks like there's...
So I'm not familiar with Final Blade. Is this a fighting game?
Last Blade. Last Blade. Okay. Last Blade is a fighting game from SNK. And it's widely
the back
renowned.
Looks like it's mostly about Hanafuda.
It does look very Hanafuda, and so I wonder if there's some. It looks like there's some illustrations you can unlock and
So
stuff.
it's like this game has 3 features. One of them is like one-on-one fighting, and one of them is Hanafuda, and one of them is art.
So maybe the Hanafuda thing is what was added for this. I'm showing my ignorance here. Somebody's going to be yelling at me and being like, "Of course that was in the original game," which it might have been. It wasn't in the Neo Geo game, but it might have been in the original Dreamcast release. And a lot of the SNK games of this era on Dreamcast had extra weird little mini games in them, and so this has one as well. I was excited about it just for having the weird Playmore logo and a different cover, and I just hadn't seen it, so I got it. It was also cheap. I got Pocket Fighter for PlayStation 1 because this has a, what is it, like a character creation mode?
Oh.
Something weird. Check it out. It's only on the Japanese version of the PlayStation game.
Okay.
It's got some kind of thing that
so it says that the skill of Pocket Fighter or like a Pocket Fighter for skill and like make a fighter for your head, like use your head. And so those 2 games are put together in here. So I don't know what the Make a Fighter.
Yeah, so it's just a mode. So you have like a create a character kind of mode, and I don't think it's like, it's not like you can make the sprites or anything, but it's just like you can.
Oh, you take a personality quiz, and it makes a character for you based on that.
Yeah.
You get a character that matches your personality.
That's the one. That's why I wanted it, because I wanted to take that personality quiz and see what my character was. And I didn't want to spend $50 on it, which is what it is when you try to buy it on eBay. So I bought it for about half that price. Here's Planet Laika, which is just bizarre. It recently had a Western translation, English translation. It's a 3D, like, walk-around action-adventure thing where, like, Laika, the original space dog, lands on the planet and then evolves into, like, a humanoid.
Yeah, she looks like a furry.
Yeah, so you got these furry humanoid dog characters, and they have weird adventures that occur and pre-rendered backgrounds, and it looks really neat and weird. And I wanted it for a long time, and now I have it. Here's a Patlabor game. I love Patlabor. The end.
There you go.
I also bought this Mark of the Wolves Playmore version, also from friends, and it has some series illustrations and an art gallery. I don't know. I really don't know that it's actually different, but it has a completely different cover from the SNK release, and so these Playmore releases are a little weird to me and a little new, so I just...
So, SNK became Playmore right before the Dreamcast stopped making games, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. So SNK was bought by Playmore kind of at the start of the PlayStation... start of the Dreamcast, but it took a while to transition the name out, and then they were...
Wasn't, like, Playmore just like a not a tax dodge, but like an artificial entity to move control, right?
It was to take control back from Autoze.
Okay.
But they had I don't know, they had like a lot of weird transitionary stuff, and my guess is as the tax dodge thing, well, not tax dodge, I don't know, whatever, tax shelter maybe, they probably had to release a certain amount of games or something.
I see, they had to like show that they were a separate entity.
Yeah, and so they put out these re-releases and maybe added a couple little things, but I'm not 100% sure on that, and so that's why I bought these.
But these were all released in like a couple of year window.
Yes, for sure.
Wait, what is this Grandia thing?
Oh, this Grandia thing. Yeah, this Grandia thing is, I don't 100% know. So we got like a little drama CD.
So this is a Grandia book? So you know about the Grandia art book, right?
Yeah.
So there's the Grandia art book that is like $200. It used to be $200. Now it's like $400 to $700.
Yeah.
This is a different book. It's like a magazine. It looks like it's like 8 pages or something with a tiny CD. And so it says, so you enjoyed this after you open it. And there's no subtitle.
Yep.
I have no idea what this is.
That is why I bought it. I did not know what it was. I had no idea what it was, and it was 950 yen, and it was at Friends, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna find out later.
Like this, the back just is like, it's like generic ad copy for Grandia, and it has a list of the staff, but it doesn't have a list of like what this is.
It kind of feels like...
Oh, here we go. So on the CD in small print, it says, Yoyaku Campaign Tokusei CD. So if you reserved Grandia, this is the special CD they made for reservations. So this is probably a bonus if you reserve the game.
Now, so here's something upsetting. I reserved the game in America. Where's my free CD? I guess I just bought it right now for 950 yen.
There you go.
But yeah, I reserved the original game. God darn it. Dadgummit. Well, now I've completed my destiny. So think about that. Game arts. Game set match. Here is Tetris with Card Capture Sakura. This also I bought because of an insert credit thread where it was like...
Did someone do all the Tetris variants or something?
I think this actually came up in the games I just learned existed, or like old games I just learned, and I didn't know that there was a Tetris game with Card Capture Sakura where you play as the characters, and I think you have like special attacks and stuff.
So it says the Clo cards come out.
Yeah.
What are those called in English? Are they still Clo?
I think they're Clo cards. I think so. We got Shin Megami Tensei 9. That is the Dreamcast. People do call the Xbox the Dreamcast too sometimes, but yeah, they do. Because so like when the original Xbox came out, all of the canceled Sega games went to Dreamcast. So like you got your Gun Valkyrie, the Outrun games went there. It was the Jet Set Radio moved over there. But yeah, so I got Shin Megami Tensei 9 here finally, which it's cheap when you buy it in Japan, but it's hard to find. It's expensive when you buy it in
most places
America.
Don't carry Xbox games at all.
No.
Right? So.
Yeah, so I had to get this at it was at Trader. I used to see it at Book Off all the time, but yeah, it's just the SMT that's exclusive to the original Xbox in Japan only. So you kind of gotta have it. I got Taito's Side by Side, which is a drifting game, which is why it's called Side by Side, which is a pretty fun name. Side by Side Special. And you can drift in a Honda Civic, and so that's why I bought it.
Cool.
I got Tatsujin on the Mega Drive. So this is a game that had a re-release somewhat recently, and I believe that's why the prices went down.
Oh, okay.
It used to be twice the price of this, but then after I bought it, I saw it for 2,000 yen cheaper. And now I feel like a big doofus. But
that happens.
Tatsujin is the Toplan shooting game where the bomb is a big skull face.
Oh, okay.
And so that's cool. You can see
the cover is
that's
like that.
That's why the cover has that big skull on it.
Okay, so I've never bought a Mini before, but I actually reserved the upcoming Mega Drive Mini too.
Yeah.
This is going to be on there.
Yeah. Get it. So that's another reason that this should be going down in price. I got Cosmic Smash for the Dreamcast, which I don't know why they put it in bubble wrap. Actually, it wasn't in bubble wrap before, and I didn't realize that they did this. What a weird thing to do. But yeah, it's in bubble wrap now. So Cosmic Smash is it's a squash game.
Okay. Like the sport.
The sport squash, and it has really stylish cover. And
it's mostly just white.
We should take it out of the thing.
Okay.
Because it's mostly white, but it's actually like a not transparent, but translucent plastic.
Oh yeah, I can see the disc through it.
Yeah, so it's like frosted.
The center of the disc.
Yeah, and so the center of the disc is kind of like the ball representative there, and it just has a really cool looking vibe, and it comes in a DVD size case.
Right.
And this is another one that has been skyrocketing in price, and I was just like, it's now or never. This used to be, you would see this frequently for like 1,000 yen. And now it's literally 11 times that price. Okay. And this is the cheapest I've seen it. So
pull off wicked shots with the Trick Smash.
I probably will.
Yeah.
I probably will pull off wicked shots. We got Spawn for the Dreamcast. This is a Capcom Spawn third-person shooter 4-player arena deathmatch.
Oh.
Which
does it have a story mode, or is it just the deathmatch?
It's got a story mode. It's a weird game to even exist, and it did come out in the US as well. but that version is well beyond my reach at this point.
This looks like it predates Toon Shaders.
I mean, there were
Or
some.
they're not using it here.
Yeah, they're just not using it. There were some. But
I mean, like based on the Spawn style and the cover, it seems like that would be what they would.
Yeah,
use.
I think they were really deliberately trying to go like American gritty, but then they wound up turning the colors all the way up and super saturating it. So it actually looks really cool in my opinion. There's a lot going on in it. What else we got? We got Pachipada 12. So these Pachipada games, I don't know if you know about them.
Yes, I know. Io Tenki, what's his name? He talks about how they're interesting or how he's like followed them. It's like an RPG, but you play Pachinko instead of fighting monsters or whatever.
Yeah. So I first found out about this series from my buddy Chaz, who forum members will know. And it's basically using the Zettai Zetsumetoshi engine, which is Disaster Report, etc. Uses that engine to take this basically Pachi slot game, and so you have one tiny screenshot of the Pachi slot game on the front. You can see,
right,
and then when you turn it to the back, it's entirely this full RPG about a guy who's trying to make money and live his life through Pachinko. And it just shows screenshots of like this story
it's about like a murder case.
Yeah, and it's like they kept getting further and further away from the Pachinko slot thing.
This is just for people who can't see the box. So the front is a girl in a bikini on the beach, like frolicking, which is what you see when you play the Pachinko games in this series, or the like one of the series. And the back is this guy walking this like rundown, old-fashioned Japanese street, or like standing in an empty gray Pachinko parlor. And also it's about like there's this murder case that you're gonna get wrapped up in.
Yeah,
it's no bikinis.
No bikinis back there. It's I love that. I was actually talking about this sort of thing yesterday, where oh, you gotta go.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about what I was talking about yesterday some other time because it's time to go. It was fun to talk about video games for a long time.
It's been great.
I got way more video games here that we're not going to talk about. But thanks for being here. You want to say goodbye to everybody?
Thank you for having me. It's been great to be on here and be able to talk about all this stuff and see, like, I'm really curious what is actually inside the Grandia thing.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know when we get there. Cool. All right. Thanks very much. Talk to everybody later.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. Well, that's the danger of Last Train, ladies and gentlemen, and others. Because we ran out of time to talk about my video games. Got plenty more to talk about. And I realized I was kind of rushing because I wasn't talking about what kinds of games a lot of these were. Like Mad Stalker, for example, is a 2D side-scrolling mech game with fighting game elements. So it's like you do quarter circles and Hadokens and stuff. It's pretty good. It's a good one. And the PlayStation 1 remake is very flashy and weird and has extra zazz to it. I'm realizing the likelihood of their remaking that game is, or at least re-releasing it, is somewhat high if they've gotten the rights to that property back. Maybe there's something weird with the PlayStation 1, but like maybe they're going to re-release that and it's going to get way cheaper. But ultimately that's good. It should get cheaper. Let everybody play it. God darn. There were some other weird games I was going to talk about. I'll do it some other time. I do want to talk about what we did before we got here. We hung out at a bar. I was trying to go to the bar that I like out in Nakano. That is the 80s J-pop bar where they play 80s J-pop on request. I feel like I might have mentioned it the last time I was doing one of these even, possibly. But it's a nice place and you can hear good music. But unfortunately today it was rented out. And so I wasn't part of the party. Although I could have pretended that I was. But I was not part of the party that was there. So we had to go somewhere else. And we wound up going to just walking down the street where I was talking with Jun Shimizu yesterday, because I quite like that street. It's got an old vibe to it, the hanging lanterns and all, and the karaoke bars and whatever. And so one place caught my eye because it had cats, just like photos of cats on the front of it. And so we looked inside and there was a cat just like staring straight at me from the open door. The cat was just like looking me in the eye. I was like, oh, I guess we have to go here. So we hung out in there, and there was a cat just coming around, sniffing the beers, and I was like, please do not have that. Had a little broken, crooked tail. Name was Suchan. Cute little kitty cat. That was good. Haven't gotten to interact with an animal in the past 2 weeks, so that was good for me. I gotta top up my animal likingness. Yeah. One other game that I did want to talk about. I wish I had someone here who knew about idols, because that's the one guy who knew would not want to be on here. But Mami Inoue has a disc here on the PC Engine. It's a Super CD-ROM. It's probably not really a Super CD. It's probably actually a regular CD. But this is a 1992 like idol game on the Super CD PC Engine, and the PC Engine CD launched with an idol game. It was that Noriko game, and so I think they were trying to not capitalize on the success, because this is 3 years later, but they were trying to replicate it somehow and see if it would revitalize that particular corner of their industry, and I don't think it did. Like, you never hear about this game. Noriko is notable really only for being one of the first CD console games, along with Fighting Street, and this one is just like, who cares? No offense to her, but when you look at the graphics, it's all like goofy, like almost like it's for kids kind of drawings. I don't know. It's odd. Maybe it was for kids. I mean, what do I know? Frankly, this is probably like a 14, 15-year-old idol. It probably should be for kids. I don't know. It's probably weird for an adult to be buying this video game anyway. I also got Saint Dragon. I can't remember if I own Saint Dragon. That was one of those purchases where it's like, I'm not 100% that I do not own this. I know I wanted to own it for a long time, but in the interim, it may have become purchased by my person, and it may live inside of my house at this very moment. But it's still a cool game, so if I already have it, I'm going to give it to somebody. It's a weird one where it's like a multi-segmented dragon thing flying around shooting game on the PC Engine. Love those PC Engine shooters. Tell you what. Okay, I'm not going to go on forever. How about Rakugaki Okoku 2 on PS2? That game is Graffiti Kingdom, it's called in the US. That's another game where the US price has gotten so astronomically high that it has made me interested in it and in finding out why. And so I just bought the Japanese version because it was cheaper. 10% of the cost of the American version. So why the heck not? I got Rakujang on the Wonder Swan. That's a mahjong puzzle game where it's like a falling blocks mahjong thing, and you're trying to make hands. I'm hopeful that this is going to help me learn how to play goddamn mahjong. I don't know, man. It probably won't. Whatever. I'm gonna learn mahjong someday. They can't stop me forever. Not forever. I got the Cobra, the second Cobra game on PC Engine, Space Adventure Cobra, that is. You may know that this is like an late 70s, early 80s anime. I can't remember exactly when, which is about like a misogynist space jerk and his sexy lady friend. Pretty classic setup. But what I did not know, because I'd never seen it with the Obi, is that the Obi has gold leaf. And that's why I bought it. Is that ridiculous? Maybe. But when you're talking about like a $8 PC Engine adventure game and it's got gold leaf on the Obi, I don't know, man. This yen is so weak. The yen is so weak that it's just like anything you see is like, I don't know. Maybe I'll pick that up. If you're one of those monomochi people like myself that just wants to have all the things. Monomochi means a thing haver, basically. If you're a thing haver, it's a little hard to resist things. I got the Power Shovel. That's a simple series game where you play as like a power shovel / digger / I forget what we call them in regular human being American English. No offense, Britishes. It came with a Densha Dego like controller that it looks something between like sticking 2 Wiimotes into a slab of yellow Velveeta cheese and a Saturn twin stick controller, somewhere in the middle of those. But you could actually use this controller, which I'll probably never find, to play this game as it should be, operating the tank treads and separately from the arm and everything. It seems pretty cool. I'd probably like doing it, but I'm not going to get that opportunity, dadgummit, unless somebody's got it. If you got it, let me know. Drop me a line. About the Persona 1 PSP game, which I do already have in the US, but this one was dirt cheap and came with the original soundtrack CD. And I think that would have cost a lot more by itself. So I guess I win. Once again, what do we got here? Game Gear Sailor Moon S. That's a Sailor Moon fighting action jumping game, we call them. Action platformers. I hear that on the recent episode, people were talking about like the fake genres that people made up for video games, like psychic action shooting or laundry delivery extravaganza. I don't know. I feel like I should have been involved in that discussion, and the fact that it was had without me is very upsetting. It's not actually upsetting, but we should do it again. Do it again and get me in there. Oh man, look at this. I got a whole, you can hear all these crinkles. I got a whole other bag over here. So I mentioned that I bought that Chase the Express from that guy that I met for 198 yen. I saw him the other day again. I saw him a second time. He's the J League Soccer and like World Series Baseball and a whole bunch of other stuff guy. And I bought Chase the Express, and he was like, the game's not that good. And I was like, well, I bought it for 198 yen. He's like, oh, well, you'll have some fun for 198 yen. But there has been a rumor going around that Chase the Express's scenario, and there is an English version of this, by the way, was written by Yoko Taro. And I confirmed with him that this is false. He is not involved. But then he did show me another game that actually was Yoko Taro involved that I don't think people know about, which I don't know if I even wrote down what it was called. Yes, here it is. It is called Phase Paradox on the PlayStation 2. So our man that I was talking to was the producer, and Yoko Taro had something to do with it, which I wish I had specifically asked. But he said that this game is really bad, and I said, well, I like Kusoge, and he's like, well, you're going to love it. So far from discouraging me, that made me really want to buy it, but unfortunately I haven't been able to find it anywhere. But Phase Paradox, that's a game you can look up if you want something that's apparently terrible. I'm going to make some more crinkling noises just for a second. Oh man, I bought a bonk. This is how I'm going to end it. I bought a bonk guidebook. Bonk's Adventure, PC Genjin. I bought a guidebook that was originally 410 yen. It costs a little more than that now. And I'm really excited about it. It's a thin little thing, but like, what if there's cool secrets in Bonk that I don't know about? I'm gonna start to know about them now. That's an exciting time. It's gonna open up a whole new world for me, possibly. Maybe I know it all already, but you know, it's fun to look at this stuff. I love looking at the video games. I like thinking about them. I like the old ones. I like the new ones, but I've been buying a lot of old ones this trip, and it's been a good time. So, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll talk to y'all again real soon. Bye for now. That terrible series and sequence of noises that you heard was Tokyo Game Show public day, first public day of Tokyo Game Show. That was the Capcom booth. There's a lot of yelling and screaming. There's people shoving to get everywhere. Luckily, it's nice and quiet over here. The show hasn't 100% technically opened yet. They opened half hour early to select customers to kind of alleviate the lines a little bit, and those select customers all made a beeline to the new Monster Hunter thing, or whatever it is. I wish they were making them beeline to Monster World. Wonder Boy, get that West Tone booth all full up. Alright, this might be my last message from Tokyo Game Show, unless something actually really cool happens. But I'll have more to say later, not about this show. Maybe I'll do a wrap-up. We'll see. Alright. Bye for now. Wait, I forgot. I do have more to say. I should never say that I'm done, because it's never really exactly going to be true. I tried to go to the Capcom booth to play Street Fighter 6 right before 9:30 when they opened it to select people. And, you know, I'm an exhibitor. There's nothing going on over there. They got everybody waiting. I was like, hey, could I play Street Fighter 6? And they're like, no. No, you can't do that. So, Street Fighter 6, worst game of 2022 so far. They won't let me play it. They're gonna pay for it later when I buy it at full price. I want to play it. Dadgummit, I want to see that. They're not actually showing it here, but I want to see that dang running around Yakuza-like. We made a little open world area part of Street Fighter 6. That's what I want to see, but they don't have it here anyway. But I want to, I want to do some Shoryukens with Hobo Ken. They won't let me. Heck. Dang it, Capcom. Alright, bye. I had to record a little of that because that was, they got the most annoying voice I ever heard at the booth next to ours, so I was just sharing a little of the fun. Enjoy. Bye for now. Well, today was day 3 of TGS. I went home early because I was falling asleep. But also, we have enough people now that I was kind of being superfluous over there. Came back. I went to the Taiwanese vegetarian restaurant in Nakano Broadway. I forgot to ask whether they were worried about the Sun Plaza being shut down or torn down. I'm worried about it. Nakano Sun Plaza is such a cool, old, vibesy place, and they feel like it's too old and vibesy, and so they're gonna remake it and make it all new and sterile. I assume it'll be sterile. It'd be cool if it weren't, but I don't know. I do not trust. But unfortunately, while I was there, there were two other people who were speaking English. There was a British guy and somebody else, and they were talking about how good they were at martial arts. And this British guy was talking all about how, like, you know, I'd work with some of the best senseis in the world, and their students will just let them throw them to the ground, but not me. I stand my ground because I think that's a form of respect. And so they try to do a little hip throw, and I don't budge. And they're like, how can this guy still be standing? It was miserable. It was miserable to listen to, and they were there the whole time because they were just hanging out. And the other guy would be like, oh, I'm just in a small Aikido circle with my friends, and then the British guy would go back to being like, oh yeah, and there was this other guy, he thought he was tough, and it's just like, shut up. If I didn't need to eat that food, I tell you what, I would have been out of there. But I just went to the 7-Eleven. I heard a mall music elevator hold music version of Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic by the Police. That was funny. I had a lot of trouble with the new change machine they got nowadays for like touchless contact kind of stuff, or like no contact. You can put your cash into this machine, but if you put it in too fast, it doesn't read it, and that's what happened to me. And so, like, it ate 100 yen, and I got all confused and had to push the reject button, and I don't know. I was feeling like a big dum-dum. But so it goes. I got it done in the end. I purchased my chocolate corn puffs, which is something I didn't know existed. It's corn puffs surrounded by a layer of chocolate. We'll see if that's any good. I'm going to try to get some actual sleep. I've been sleeping 5 hours a night. I'm not going to TGS tomorrow, so this is my last TGS day. Tomorrow, instead, I will be going to Masaya Matsura of Parappa the Rapper and Size fame. I will be going to him. He's got a DJ thing where he's playing records for 2 hours for a group of 10 people, and one of them will be me. And it's a very small event, and it's pretty cool, and I hope it's fun and hilarious, or relaxing, or one of those things. I'll let you know about it. Bye for now. That sound is rain. I'm about to walk through this rain to start my day here. It's intense. I live in California. We don't get rain anymore. I haven't seen rain like this in person since probably, like, I don't know, 1997? Something like that. I'm looking at a roof here standing outside of my Airbnb, and this roof it's got drains and everything, but it's got about 6 inches of water in it that's trying to frantically drain out. It's wild. So, this is going to be a new day for me. We're going to see how it goes. Bye for now. So I'm about to get on the train here, and I saw Jun Shimizu, who stopped me on the way into the train station, which is very funny. Just by happenstance, she was standing there and was like, "Hey, you leaving?" Kind of a fun send-off in a way, like after having such a weird time elsewhere and a nice time here, to have one of my friends literally be at the station to send me off just by pure happenstance. It was kind of like the ultimate okaedi from Nakano, like, come on back anytime. So yeah, getting on this train. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. So I'm finally on my way home. I'm on the Keisei Rapid train for Narita, which, for anyone that has not made this mistake before, is an extremely slow local train that takes about an hour and a half to get to Narita instead of 40 minutes. I made this mistake in the past and almost missed my flight, but this time I got 4 hours to go, so I'm in no problem. I can take the slow ride and take it easy. So yeah, time to leave, time to head home, kind of reflecting on how the trip has been. I thought I was going to make the whole trip without going the wrong way, the wrong direction on a train, but I confused Omori with Omiya yesterday when I was heading out to buy a backpack. I had to buy a backpack because I'm trying to bring the entirety of all Japanese media home with me, and it's very heavy. I think I got like 150 pounds of stuff. That's like 30 stone for you British people. Is that what? I don't know what a stone is. It'd be funny if I got that right. But yeah, a lot happened on this trip. We had a typhoon. It rained a whole bunch. Part of why I'm sticking on this train is because it's raining right now, and I don't want to be moving around. I met like everybody from Sega from the Dreamcast days. There were some sad points, like not having anybody to hear my hilarious jokes, because Tim wasn't here. Usually we make a bunch of dumb memes while we're here, like internal memes, setting them up for the year while we're present, but that didn't happen this time. But I can tell you some of the ones that I had said in my head, which unfortunately nobody got to hear. I saw a guy who had he had hair all around the sides and back of his head, but none on the top in like a strip. And I said, "Wow, that dude's Kim Jong-il." That would have been pretty funny to somebody. Another good joke I had a couple times was seeing a very short but clearly adult woman walking with a standard-sized man and saying in his voice, "Actually, she's 6,000 years old, so it's fine." That was funny, just to me. Nobody got to hear my funny names of stops, like Takara no Baba is Takara's grandma, which Hanamizu is tea water, and pronouncing Okachimachi like Okachimachi. Yeah, that's the good stuff. TGS. I went to TGS. It was pretty much the opposite experience of PAX, where the city was nice, all the people were friendly, everyone was very welcoming, but people weren't really playing the game. We had, I think, one person, maybe two people, who played through the game all the way and did everything. Meanwhile, at PAX, it was like everybody. Everyone played it all the way through. Everybody came back to try to play the second demo. So, it was interesting. But some people really did like it, which was cool. Overall, it feels like stuff hasn't changed that much since the last time I was here. The last time we did one of these, we were talking about how much the city had changed across the last 10 years or so. But it's been almost 10 years since we did that, and it feels like stuff hasn't changed that much since then. Like, some arcades shut down, but they mostly changed names. One or two game shops closed, but for the most part, they're still there. Like, I found out that Friends isn't closing that game shop. They're going to continue on with one floor. I thought they were, like, moving toward retirement or something, but nope, they're just consolidating. I got to go to the same restaurants, more or less, see the same people. I didn't really go anywhere that I wasn't welcome. I skipped Yummy Yummy Curry, for example, which is a place Tim and I used to go all the time, where they used to serve vegetarian curry, and then they stopped, and they got really aggressively upset Nobody who went and asked after that. I saw more people holding hands. It's anecdotal, but that was nice. I saw fewer buskers, which was unfortunate. I think the worst thing is that hearing that the Sun Mall in Nakano is getting torn down. But what can you do? Things can't stay the same forever. Also, didn't I, last time I did this, wasn't there a Matsura performance at the end there as well? Another Masaya Matsura performance? I feel like there was. In which case, that's an incredibly odd coincidence. It's not like he does that many of them. Well, I'm ready to go home. It's been a nice trip, but I want to go home and see my partner and my dog, Pocket, who has been sleeping with my socks for comfort, so he can have my smell still, which is very cute, but also very sad. I hope he doesn't have a heart attack when I walk through the door. He's going to be pretty into it. I'm looking out the window at these rice fields, all soaked with water. They haven't planted yet, or if they have, they haven't sprouted yet. A bunch of barren rice fields, a bunch of traditional roofs once you get out this way. It's a slow train, but it's a good experience. You get to see a lot of fun stuff. You get to see a lot of capital J Japan out there. Okay. That's it for this whole travelogue business. I hope you enjoyed all 56 episodes of it, or however long it wound up being. Take care of yourselves. See y'all out there. Bye forever.
Insert Credit Show is a production of Insert Credit. This episode was hosted by Brandon Sheffield, with Lotte May, Yumiko Miyabe, Mark McDonald, Jun Shimizu, Andrew Kiya, Cheryl Ng, and Paul O'Leary McCann appearing in this episode. Insert Credit Show is edited by me, Esper Quinn, with original music by Kurt Feldman. Thanks for listening.